Hey guys, we made it through another week. Welcome back to Dad's Foxbody Garage. After 5, just going through some boxes from some stuff I ordered a while ago. Finally came in. One thing actually came in 24 hours, which was crazy. I had some good feedback from the last video when I did the wire tuck. And I think I want to take it to another level. As you can see here, let's see if I can point to this. You know, I routed everything behind the engine compartment wall here, behind the shock tower, and then just poked out here. You know, I think that looked great, but I started talking with a few people that watched the video, and they're like, I got the idea, you know what, I think I want to go a little more. So I ended up picking up this positive post here, and I'm going to mount it remotely in the fender well, hook up all this garbage to that, and then just run one cable to here. I'm also going to move my positive battery here because I have it jumped at the starter, and from what I've been reading, my starter kind of hangs up when when it first fires up. Maybe 1 second, maybe 2 seconds. And when I wired that, I saw how you can take you know, just a jumper wire. You don't need the number 14 or whatever wire that comes over to this side of the coil or this side of the solenoid. You can just bypass that. Well, I'm like, oh great, you know, I can do that and not have this extra wire. It looks cleaner. But apparently the starter, when it's spinning and once the engine fires, it actually like generates power and backfeeds the solenoid and hangs it up for a second or two. So I'm gonna change my starter wire from the large wire over to this side, so there's power to that side, power to the starter all the time. But then I'm just going to put the small energizing wire on this side of the solenoid. Hopefully that takes care of that. But I'm going to move everything to the inside. I think I'll still leave the solenoid here. I'm like going down a rabbit hole here because I'm like, oh, I could move the whole solenoid in there. But then if I ever have to change the solenoid, you know, I don't want to tear the fender off. So at least I'll just have a junction point inside the wheel well or inside the fender. You know, it'll be protected from the wheel well once I put that back in. So that's one thing I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do a time lapse on this stuff this week. Had a couple of requests for time lapses. I have no problem doing that. It'll take a little bit more to edit them and all that stuff, but I think I'll do that. And I also got this in, which is a inline sending unit. Turns on at 180 and turns off at 165. So not really sure how that must just have a switch or something like that. But I'm gonna hook that to relays or a relay for my fan and plumb that into my hot side heater hose. I don't know if I'm going to get to that this week. We do have some family coming into town. I should say this weekend. But I think I still have some time on Saturday to play around out here. I think that's about it for now. And once I get some more time, I'll set up a time lapse. Thanks. Bye guys. Alright guys, so we went right after it. Had a few minutes on our hands, so as you saw, not much to it. Sorry for the bad angle there, you know, looking at me instead of looking at what I'm doing. But unfortunately my garage is kind of tight. As you see behind me, that is the workbench right there, and here is the car right there. So not much room to set up a camera, but I'll show you what we got down here. So basically we got the terminal. Comes with self-tapping screws or bolts, or I guess they're screws. I just have this put on lightly because I have to still get one more cable. I have to go to O'Reilly's or something to get a cable from here to the solenoid. Because right now I have the battery terminal coming right to here. All the junctions and garbage connect to this. Again, I'll tie all this stuff up and rewrap it and all that. Might have saw that this connection here is slightly larger than some of the factory wires, or the loops there, the connectors. But being a machinist, I have access to all kinds of tools in my toolbox, and looks like a 3/8 reamer was the trick. Did grab on the one, but just opened up the other ones nice and easy on the other ones. Slips right on. And then on this side, you know, what we're going to have is the starter wire, which is going to be, again, the 14 gauge only, that connects to this side of the solenoid. I'll just wrap it to the battery cable that runs to the other side, and then I'll have the shortest cable I can get come from the terminal we just installed to this side of the solenoid. And hopefully that will take care of my hanging starter, and also make it look a lot nicer. So again, we won't see, we don't have all this garbage here attaching to one side of the solenoid, and you know, all the wires that are in that channel there by the shock tower, it'll all be tied up, it'll all be wrapped up, and once the wheel well goes in, you know, it's as sealed up as it would be if it was inside the engine bay here. And you know, I'm not setting this thing up for rain running and all that garbage. Like I said before, I'm not even putting in the windshield washer pump. I'm like, I'll rain next to the windshield, and I don't expect the top to be up on this a whole lot. You know, that's one thing that pretty much one of the main reasons I bought this car was, like I said before, was I had a convertible. It was a Porsche, and loved that car. But you know, through a divorce and all that, kind of had some bad juju with the car. Wanted a clean start, so I bought the white car there, and love that car, but it's not a convertible, and I just really missed the convertible after about 6 months of having that. I'm like, God, I like everything, but I miss the 5-speed and I miss the convertible. So and like I said before, I don't want to mess with that car. This is the one to mess with. So anyways, that's that for now. I think I'm gonna run by O'Reilly's when I go out for pizza. Daughter says she wants pizza and antipasto salad from Jet's Pizza tonight, and I said sure, and pizza's always good, right? So while I'm out, I'll pick up that cable and on to the next project, which is going to be the heater hose here and the temp gauge, or temp switch, I guess. That's going to take a little bit of research. I'm going to have to fire this thing up and see which one is the hot side, which one is the return. Thinking, you know, the hot side obviously should be the one that my fan is on. And then I'll go to Home Depot and just get some adapters to adapt it to either 3/4 or 5/8, whichever one is the hot side. I don't know. Maybe Google would know if I did some research, but it's easy enough to start it up. Also want to get some more looming, like I said before, for the alternator, and you know, a few other things in here. Tidy that up. But just coming along, guys. Once I get the cable, I'll do another time lapse and show you how it fires up. Well, I have to get another piece of wire too. I think I might have wire to run to the starter, but you know, getting at the starter once the header's on is you know, not enjoyable. So maybe we won't do that tonight, but we will get the cable and the pizza tonight. So I'll see you on the next one. Alright guys, so this is what we have for a finished product here. Well, somewhat finished. Don't mind this. This is my jumper for my solenoid to start it, but looks a lot nicer. Here's my jumper wire that goes right to the other side of the for the terminal on the battery, or on the starter. And I got the fuel pump on. So according to the directions in the manual, she should fire up and the starter should not hang. Let's see what happens. Good to me. I'm gonna kill it and start it again. Alright, let's see if it hangs up at all. Nope, fires right up. Nice. Old. All right, guys, I think we did it. So again, let me spin it around and I'll give you just a quick overview. So this is what the solenoid looks like now. I got a just a ground strap from O'Reilly's when I ran out for pizza. Oh, I'm gonna have to do something with that, aren't I? That's not ideal. Looks like I can just loosen that and turn that. But basically, you know, we got rid of a lot of wires. Looks a lot nicer. And of course I'll be starting it from inside the car, but it's just easier to hit the gas and since I don't have a choke hooked up or anything, and just use my little jumper switch there. But you know, I keep saying it, but you know, taking baby steps forward, and she's coming along. All right, so I think next I'm probably gonna call it quits for the night. I don't know what time it is, and I'm sure my neighbors don't like to hear this thing growling out here. Oh, it's 8 o'clock, and I'm sure the wife wants me to hang around a little bit tonight. So I think next over the weekend I'll be messing with the fan control, fan switch. Figure out if it's the 5/8 or the 3/4 line that's the feed. I couldn't tell you which one it is. I have no idea. I'd have to see which one gets hot, like I said, first. And then I can get my AN10 to either, I'll have to get it to NPT and then to whatever hose barb connection. And then I can do that wiring. That one's not so bad. But now that I think of it, I'll, oh no, wait, I did run those wires already. Yep. I ran those wires into the cab already. So wiring that up shouldn't be too bad. Well, I still have to run a wire. Maybe I'll snake the other wire in through the old computer grommet hole there. Yeah, I hate to run a wire over here. It's so clean. Maybe I'll snake it around the back of the motor or something. Anyway, you know what I mean. Got to get a wire for the switch that goes to the relay. And then I have my override switch. But all my wiring to the fan is already complete already. So hopefully that shouldn't be too bad. But that's the next goal. And then it should be able to, you know, run and idle and do whatever and cool itself. And I want to adjust the clutch a little bit. I don't have the clutch on, or the cable on the last quadrant spot. I have it like in the middle. Not too happy. There's a couple inches of play there. I want to tighten that up a little bit. So in order to do that, since I'm adjusted all the way out on the cable, I'm going to loosen up the cable and reattach it to the last area on the quadrant. Still have to set the timing on this. I keep forgetting to buy a white marker. I can't see the timing mark. And, you know, I'm thinking I'm just going to set it at 12 degrees for startup and idle, because that's what the white car is. But if anyone else out there knows, you know, better than that, let me know. And I did get my emergency brake cables in the mail finally. They came from NPD. They were on order forever. So I got that. I got my brake lines, and I'm debating whether or not just to throw the 8/8 in there. As is right now, I'm leaning towards yes, and paint it with some POR or something like that. Again, bottom of the car is not a show car by any stretch of the imagination. It's a Michigan car, already patched a few spots in the floor, but the important stuff is all right. Well, I should say that I had to rebuild one of the shock towers. The other one's on its way out, but I wanted to get the motor in and get it running before I kept screwing around with stuff. But yeah, I think that's about it for this time. Thanks for watching, guys.